Hello, everybody. Hello. Welcome to In Conversation With. I'm so excited to be here today. This lovely lady who I'm with today is Gemma. So Gemma will tell you a little bit about herself in a minute. But first of all, for those of you that have never seen one of these episodes before, this is In Conversation With, where I have a little chat with a member of my community, another fellow business owner, about life, business struggles, successes, and life in the network marketing industry in general. So welcome, Gemma. Thank you for being my guest this week.
Thanks for inviting me. It's very exciting.
No, it's a pleasure. Would you like to introduce yourself to everybody and explain what you do and how you got started?
Yeah, so one sec. I'm Gemma, obviously. I'm based in Chester.
Not far from me.
In the northwest. A little bit icy here today, so it's quite nice to be working at home, actually. I'm a Tropic ambassador, and I've been with Tropic since January 2018, so it was my 5-year anniversary 2 weeks ago.
Wow, happy birthday.
Thank you. And I first got into Tropic, like I think most people who get into network marketing, I hosted a party, and I love the products, and I love the idea of earning some money and meeting some new people. So that is how I got into it. And I run it alongside a full-time job for our local council.
Oh, brilliant. So you said that you got started because you were at a party. Was it the products then that got you really hooked? Yeah,
definitely. Yeah. I was at that point, I was buying quite expensive moisturizer from a beauty counter in town and couldn't quite work out why. I still had really dry skin and I was spending all this money. And literally within that hour of the party, it made a difference.
Wow.
So and and I thought, well, if it's cheaper and I can save money buying it for myself, then why wouldn't I?
So it was totally the products and totally for your own benefit then, rather than a business.
Yeah, I like the ethos of the company. I like the idea of earning a little bit of extra cash. But yeah, the products definitely were what started it for me.
So what has kept you in all that time then?
Well, the discount on the products.
Yeah.
And just the friendships that I've made. I've got some really lovely people in my own team. I've only got a small team, but it's a gorgeous group of ladies.
Oh.
And I've made such great friends in the wider team that I'm part of as well. And across Tropic, really, everyone's so supportive. That's something to the door.
Oh, typical. It always happens when you're live. So mine will do it as well, or my dogs will start barking, or my son will walk in. We've woken up out of bed finally. Not to worry. So what else was I going to ask you? Oh yeah. So when you first started, you were telling me just before that you had some really big successes that you were really proud of.
I did. There's a Facebook user who said hello. So hello, whoever you are. So when I first joined, there's still an incentive on actually now for new ambassadors. I hit all of my targets. So I got the lovely makeup bag that people may have seen pictures of and things. So that was exciting.
Oh, brilliant.
And the one that I really, really enjoyed a couple of years ago when Tropic first opened their new headquarters, I won the incentive to go there. So we had a tour of the building. We saw how they make all the products. We helped them pack some products. We made our own perfumes.
Wow.
Made a little, what's they call them, terrarium.
Oh, like a little plant pot glass thing with them.
Yeah,
I'm doing this. People on a podcast won't be able to see me waving my hands around.
For the people not watching, it's like a glass vase with an ecosystem inside it. So you plant your little plants in and everything. Yeah.
Oh dear. So over your many years in this industry, what do you feel that you have struggled with the most?
I think it's been hard seeing people be more successful than me. And then what I've had to remind myself of is that they do it full time, a lot of them.
Yeah.
So obviously there's less hours in the day for me because I'm working full time, but everyone progresses at their own speed, don't they? So
yeah,
it's just
absolutely
important to remember that.
Yeah, and everybody has different circumstances. Like you said, you're working full time. It isn't your priority. you're by the sounds of it much more in it for the community and the friendships and the products.
Yeah.
Than building a massive business. And do you know what? That's the joy of this industry. You can come into it and you can run it exactly how you want, can't you?
Yeah, I mean, one day I do hope to have a huge business with it, but it'll just take a bit longer to get there.
It will, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. How exciting. When's that going to be by?
Oh, this year. I feel like this year's going to be a big one.
Oh, is it? Oh, exciting. That really is very, very exciting.
Not to put too much pressure on 2023, but yeah.
It's nothing like a bit of pressure. No, it's great. So this full-time job of yours, how are you going to adapt your business to scale it over this next year then, even with the full-time job? What's the plan?
Better time management is key. I've deleted a load of apps off my phone yesterday. I'm doing a mini manifestation bootcamp with Denise Duffield-Thomas at the moment, actually.
Oh, yes.
And day one is declutter. So I was like, get rid of all the apps that I don't need. I'm just wasting time. So I'll have lots more time to spend on my business instead and just be a bit more focused about what I'm doing in that time.
Yeah, it's amazing how much time we waste without realizing. I hear so many people saying, I haven't got time. Yeah, there's massively successful people in this industry that are incredibly busy doing all sorts of other things as well as their network marketing, whether it is a full-time job or another business or kids.
They do say the most successful people are the busiest ones.
Yeah, they do, absolutely. And there's a reason for that. It's because they don't tend to procrastinate quite so much.
Exactly.
There's something different about the way that they work. And I think they're just more productive, make better use of their time. I mean, I've sat on my phone playing a little game. You download these games, don't you? And you sit and 2 hours have gone by and you don't even realise.
Exactly.
Yeah. And my son, he often tells me he hasn't got enough time yet. He spends most of his time on his computer, on his gaming. So
they're just a time suck.
Absolutely a time suck. And the scroll hole of Facebook is just a joy. Yeah, it's quite a challenge. And I think every time we tell ourselves we haven't got time, I think we need to actually think, how can I find the time? Or what am I doing that is wasting my time? What can I change? You're very right there, because I bet actually when you look at it, you've got lots of time.
Yeah, definitely.
It's just using it, isn't it? Yeah. So how have you got round the fact so far that you're working full time and running a team and as small as it is, it's still a team. You've still got to look after them and run your own business, sales, recruiting.
Yeah. Just use my, lunch hours, mornings, evenings, catching up with them.
Yeah. And you fit it in nicely around life as well.
Everything. Yeah, just about. Yeah. I'm quite lucky. My husband is a huge biker, so he spends a lot of time either in his garage or out on his motorbikes. So he doesn't really care too much about the fact that I'm doing my tropic business instead.
Sometimes things like the network marketing, like your tropic, will start off as a hobby.
Yeah.
It's not that different, is it? Except I used to think of it as a hobby I used to earn from.
Yeah. Well, one of the reasons, going back to when I first started, it was the fact that I didn't see him very much, and most of my friends had moved away from Chester, so I was quite sort of at home on my own a lot and quite lonely in the evenings. So it was just another thing that spurred me on to get involved. Yeah.
And with the parties and the Pampers and those sorts of things, it really is very social, isn't it?
Yeah, very.
Yeah. How do you get on online? Do you do a lot online, or is it more parties?
I'm trying to get back into parties this year. I haven't had many, obviously, for the past couple of years. But online, people tend to just message me these days. Actually, I do have a group, but people tend to come to me one-to-one. So they might be in the group, but then rather than respond in there, they'll get straight in touch with me.
I think
a lot of people find with groups.
Yeah, I think that is the way that Facebook is going, or people's habits on Facebook is going. They're definitely not using the groups as many. I think there's so many groups out there, and the way the notifications have changed on Facebook, I don't think people are seeing them the same. No. Group engagement has definitely gone down.
Yeah, I think especially with the everyone tag. It's just make things worse.
Don't even go there.
You could do a whole podcast on that.
No. No, I avoid the subject.
Yeah.
Personal choice, use it if you want, don't if you don't want to. Yeah, I don't use it. I think it's a pointless waste of my time using that because most people don't see it anyway.
Yeah.
It's bizarre.
I did use it last night because I made a massive mistake with an event timing, so I had to like alert people to it. But yeah, apart from that, I never have done.
No, I think I used it once to prove a point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used it because I wanted to see how many people would get miffed with it, how many people would respond to it, how many people would see it. And I used it in the Direct Selling Success Facebook group, which has about 2,800 people in there. I think I've got about 7 comments.
Really?
So people just didn't see it. So it didn't work. So it didn't tag everybody at all. What's going on there? Anyway, it's not something I particularly like using, but use it as you want. It's a great tool, I think, for small communities of people who are very engaged. Yeah. I don't think it should be used as a sales tool because
and certainly not. I can use it every day, so I will tool.
No, I don't think I'd do that. No, I don't think I'd do that. That would hack me off if somebody did that in a group I was in. I'd leave. Anyway, yes. By the by. So, out of interest, what has been your biggest? I don't even know how to describe it. What changed your business around from being a consultant ambassador? Get the terminology right for Tropic. What changed it around from being an ambassador to starting to grow your own team?
It was a conversation with someone on Twitter. She was writing a blog, and actually it's interesting because I don't use Twitter very much anymore, and I really should go back to it because clearly it was successful. She was writing a blog because she just had a baby and was looking for like cleaner products without the toxic ingredients to use for her child as well as for her. And I think she was breastfeeding, so she wanted to make sure that it was not going to impact on her baby through her skin. And I can't remember. I think I just sent her a link to just some information. It wasn't even a Tropic link specifically. And then we ended up chatting, and it turned out she lived about 5 miles away. So I dropped some products off for her to try. And then she was like, "Oh, I love it. I'll sign up. I want to join."
Wow, what was chance of her being 5 minutes away?
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, on all of Twitter, she could have been anywhere, couldn't she? But yeah, she was just on the road. So yeah, we met up for another chat.
Oh, that's brilliant. And she just joined your team, and that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then my second one was at a party. She'd been quite high up in a cosmetics company as a rep in a shop. Came to a charity pamper that I hosted and was just incredibly excited about everything, wanted to try everything, wants to have everything. So she went away and came back and decided to join when she came back. In fact, before she'd even picked up what she'd ordered, she'd joined.
Wow, that's impressive. So it just started to grow from there.
Just started to grow from there, yeah.
And these people came to you?
Yes, the second one did. The first one was just a random person that I spotted asking a question on Twitter.
Yeah, oh, brilliant. That's fantastic. So you're obviously doing something right from the start.
Really?
Yeah, that's great, isn't it?
And it's very exciting when you get that first person. It's like it just changes your mindset a bit to how you do things. It does.
It makes it more achievable somehow. If you've done it once, it's definitely more achievable. It's like when you have a bit of a drought of recruits coming in, if you don't get anybody coming in for quite some time, you feel like nobody's interested anymore. And it's not true. It's not true. It just happens to everybody. You have a drought of people coming in, or you have a drought of sales or whatever. Doesn't mean it's not going to happen again. You just maybe have to tweak something you're doing. No. And what about more recently? What light bulb moments have you had more recently?
Well, yes, nice little segue there.
This is what you wanted to talk about, wasn't it? This is the one thing when we were discussing what we were going to cover in this little in conversation with session. Gemma said there was a specific thing she wanted to talk about because it's made such a difference. So go for it, Gemma.
Yep, and it is your fire up your follow up.
Oh yeah,
what are we calling it? A masterclass, a boot camp? It's a month-long thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's so simple, and it's so easy to forget at the same time. And it's just following up with people and not being afraid to talk to past customers.
Yeah, well, anybody at all.
Anyone who could be a customer, people who you've not spoken to in 4 or 5 years. Like I've got customers from my first year who have maybe lost touch for whatever reason. So yeah, just going back to people.
Yeah. So what stopped you talking? What stopped you following up with people to start with before?
I think probably just worrying that the fact that, well, with the customers, the old customers who hadn't ordered in a long time, I think it was worrying that because they hadn't ordered for ages, they weren't interested anymore.
So you presumed that they'd already not be interested before you'd even spoken?
Yeah, before I'd even sent a message, I assumed I knew what they were going to say.
Yeah, I used to be like
whereas, there are many, many reasons that people might not be in touch.
Absolutely.
And it's probably just that they've lost my details.
Possibly, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So, yeah, just not being afraid to put yourself back out there, really.
Yeah, and I think this follow-up program that we've been doing, whatever you want to call it, I think so many people think of follow-up as something that it's not. And I think that's made a big difference to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, because people think follow-up is sales. Always have to be sales. You have to be selling something all the time. And actually, following up can just be something as simple as connecting with somebody, having a conversation with somebody, asking a question.
Yeah, one question. It doesn't have to be a big, long sales pitch.
No, it doesn't. And it doesn't have to even be a sales-based question.
No.
Depends on the person and the conversation. It doesn't have to be icky and spammy and always like, come and buy my stuff, come and join my team.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, conversations need to happen at all stages of the customer journey. And I think a lot of people forget that. And I think that's the biggest light bulb moment for most people on that program that we're doing at the moment.
Mm. Yeah. And I think actually it's something you can apply to your life, because I'm meeting up with 5 friends who I haven't seen for years, actually, for one reason or another, just because I sent them a message.
Yeah, absolutely. But check in on how people are, keep your name in their minds, and magic happens. It's surprising. It's very surprising. And I think we don't connect and have real proper relationships, proper conversations with people the same anymore. And I think if we can do that, we can build a bigger business. And that's what I was trying to get out of people through this follow-up program.
Yeah.
Because it makes such a big change to your business, having conversations and offering stuff. Yeah.
Just reminding people.
Sorry?
Just reminding people that you're there.
Reminding people that you're there, exactly. and not just that, being a friend or being a human being, and conversation.
I think we really need it after the past couple of years we've had. It's time to be sociable again and catch up with
absolutely.
people.
And I think people appreciate it. They appreciate it when it comes from the heart, and that's a bit different from a lot of people's thoughts on follow-up.
Yes.
So anyway, you mentioned if you had a time machine when we were chatting before.
Yeah, I would go back and do that follow-up from the beginning.
From the beginning.
From the very beginning.
I've told my story about me following up, haven't I?
Yeah.
You've heard my story. A lot of other people won't have heard my story. So the first few years of my business, I followed up with nobody at all. I did party plans. So I had hosts who would hold parties for me, and I would text them the day before to say, are we still on for the party? And if they were lucky, they'd get a thank you afterwards. Anybody who bought never got anything. I just didn't contact anybody because I was too scared, and I didn't want them to say no. And in some certain circumstances, it didn't occur to me to actually contact them. And then I did a training. Something dawned on me, some light bulb moment, and I started following up, and I tripled my business within a year. It was amazing. Just the difference it made was phenomenal. So follow up is my big message to everybody out there. Have conversations with people. If you've said you'll speak to somebody, speak to them. If you've met somebody, follow up, get your name out there, keep them remembering you. Compliment people, thank people, ask people questions, have conversations, and yeah, conversations create opportunities to have more business, whether it's sales, whether it's people in your group. If you don't get enough people in your Facebook group, go and have some conversations. Not necessarily, hey, do you want to join my Facebook group? But just have some conversations. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Follow up is not about cold prospecting either, is it, Gemma?
No. It's just being a person.
It is, absolutely. It's just being a person. Yeah. And serving your audience. So, what is finally your top tip for everybody out there? What will you say to them?
Really simple. Be yourself. You can look at what other people are doing, and if it works for you, copy it. Don't copy it. Tweak it to be more like how you would do it yourself. But don't feel that just because something works amazingly for someone else, if it doesn't feel authentic to you, then just don't do it.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
basically it. You know, everyone's different, aren't they? And they need to not try to be a robot.
Yeah, clone. Too right. And people buy people. They buy into you. They don't buy into the company. They don't buy into, well, sometimes they buy into the products, but they can buy the products from anybody. They buy the products from you because of you. So being yourself, great tip.
Yeah, it's simple, but you know, not everyone realizes it straight away, I think.
No, they don't. No, absolutely not. And it's sometimes very easy to look at what other people are doing and think, oh, that should be me. I should be saying that. I should be doing that. Yeah.
And then when you try and do it, it doesn't feel right. And that comes across in everything that, you know, people can tell that you're not being yourself. Yeah. And it just lands really wrong.
Yeah, it does. Oh, so thank you so much for coming on this, Gemma. It's so lovely to have you. If anybody wants to find Gemma, where can they find you, Gemma?
I'm on mainly Facebook or Instagram. I am on Twitter as well, although rarely. And my my username on all three is Tropic Gemma D.
Brilliant. And you have a Facebook group as well, don't you?
I have got a Facebook group, yeah. It's called Skinimalism Secrets with Gemma D.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. I'll see you soon.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye.